Hello and welcome to the Breaking the Silence Voices of FGM Survivors podcast here on Shito Media Network. My name is Halimatu Sise, and this episode we feature the president of Association of Health Journalists in the Gambia, Salid Jarju, to listen to her opinion on female genital mutilation and also for her to share with us the wonderful work that health journalists are doing in the Gambia when it comes to raising awareness on public health issues, including female genital mutilation.
My name is Sally Jarju. I'm an employee of the Gambia Radio and Television Services, but I also serve as the president of the Gambia's Health Journalists Association.
Sally, what's your opinion on female genital mutilation?
Female genital mutilation is one of those harmful traditional practices that we have been battling with as a nation. This is a practice that we have inherited for generations. But as science develops, research expands, we have come to realize that FGM is very harmful to us as women and girls in the Gambia. And I think the debate around FGM should be now a thing of the past. In as much as we have a law that protects us as women and children in the Gambia, there should be no effort to revive that law to go back to the old days of cutting and inflicting a lot of pain on us. So what we can do as a nation is to make sure that we leverage on the achievements that we have made as one of the smallest countries in Africa and in the world to eradicate FGM. We build on that so that we can move ahead to eradicate some other harmful traditions that we have. But as far as FGM is concerned, we all need to believe and accept the fact that it is harmful, it has no face in our civilized society, and we should nurture the law that we have in place.
As the president of Association of Health Journalists in the Gambia, what role do health journalists play in the fight against FGM?
A very big role. A very big role in the sense that we need to keep informing the people about the harmful sides, the negative impacts of FGM. Because we all know when girls and women go through FGM, you have complications during childbirth, you have complications during sexual intercourse, you have continuous infections and irritations that deter women's health. So in order to stop people from doing FGM, especially those who think that it is religious or it is an important part of their tradition, it is good that we continue to inform them about things that they don't know. Because it's very difficult for someone to stop doing something that they are told that it's tradition, it's religious. But then with the information that we are having now from experts, health experts for that matter, who have studied the issue of FGM and have come up with evidences that FGM has a lot of impact on women and girls, we can build on some of those research, some of those information to make sure that we continue to enlighten the public. When people are well informed, in the long run or in the soonest possible time, they will start stopping it, because we have seen young people who are educated, modest, who are now saying no to FGM. This is because they are empowered with the requisite information. So journalists should not relent. We should not relent, but we should continue to talk about FGM. In doing so, people will be informed, they will get the right information, and then they will take decisive stance against FGM. I think information is power, and information can make a lot of impact when it comes to stopping FGM in the country.
What do you think are the biggest challenges journalists face when reporting on FGM?
The challenges are sometimes resources, but then we should also accept the fact that some are personal, let me say. Let me begin by saying that we still have journalists who believe in the issue of FGM, whether it's from our male counterparts or it's from some of us, the women. There are people who still believe in their religion, religious part of it, or the traditional part of it. That is one challenge, because before you change the mindset of the people, before you inform people about something, you need to be convinced yourself. But if you are not convinced as a journalist to the impact of FGM, the negative one for that matter, on the lives of women and children, you will not be able to report. And even if you report, you will report in a very biased manner. You will not bring out the genesis of the key important issues that needs to be highlighted. The first thing we need to do is to make sure that we enhance the capacity of media practitioners themselves, whether it is the editors, because we know how issues of news work around or programs work around our institutions. Sometimes, as a presenter, as a reporter, you don't have the full custody of your stories. You have someone there who is your senior who will edit and the like. So if you know the issues and that person don't know the issues, or the person still believes in FGM, the story will be tampered with and the effort will be compromised. So I think we need to create the avenue of sensitizing, creating capacity enhancement programs for media practitioners so that they can do justice to FGM stories. Secondly, the resources. Sometimes you want to go outside there to talk to people, especially survivors of FGM. It is difficult to travel. It's difficult to put in the resources. So if we have the requisite resources to take journalists out there to bring in the real stories, survivors talking, medical practitioners given the information, that will make a really good impact. And also, we need to be buying airtime on media houses. I know media houses have their corporate responsibilities like health columns, health programs, and the like, but that is not enough as far as the fight against FDM is concerned. So resources are also a constraint in order for us to be able to make a decisive start against continuous advocacy around FGM.
The Gambia just ratified the newest convention from the AU, which is the AU Convention on Elimination of Violence against Women and Girls. And in that convention, FGM is key there, and in FGM is also very key. And right now, everyone is waiting on the Supreme Court to make a decision with regards to the FGM law. What do you think will happen if the law is repealed?
I'm not sure the law will be repealed because Gambia would not stand at a crossroad, or Gambia would not make itself funny in the international phase. You cannot ratify an international law and not domesticate it in your country. That will be a big failure on the side of the government. So the Supreme Court is an important arm of the government, and I think the role of the law is to protect lives and livelihoods in the country. So if we have a law that is here to protect women and children who make up, especially who make up the larger proportion of our population, I'm not sure the country will compromise that. So the Supreme Court should not allow the Gambia to be a laughing stock among its members outside, even not the international law. Our constitution talks about protection against any harmful effect, and FGM happens to be one of those harmful effects. So the law and the custodians of the law should respect the constitution, should respect international conventions like the CEDAW and this additional law to make sure that the FGM law is not repealed in the Gambia, honestly. And I'm optimistic that the Supreme Court will do the needful and protect our laws and the Constitution. This is not any other thing different from what we have in the Constitution and in the Women's Act and in the Children's Act. So we have done a lot. We have gone far to have some of those laws in place.
Since the ban on FGM, and even prior to the ban of FGM, female genital mutilation, journalists, including health journalists, have been very active in creating awareness, dispelling misconceptions, and all that. Do you think it's time to do things differently, or what we are doing, we need to strengthen it?
We can do both. We can strengthen what we have been doing, but I think we need to change a bit of our reporting style when it comes to FGM. I think at this moment we need to bring in the health implications of FGM, because traditionally we have been saying FGM is bad, FGM is so and so, and people will say, those who think that it's good will say, bring us the evidence. And I'm not sure we have a difficulty now in getting the evidences, because if you go to hospitals, the data is speaking. If you go to research centers, MRC and other institutions, they have done research about the impact of FGM. So that is what we need to build on to make sure that we make gain. And before, as you know, most of the presenters and the reporters, maybe people who have a bias when it comes to gender issues. But now women are empowered. We ourselves who have gone through FGM, we are not just living testimonies of the impact, but then we also get the information now. So we should be reporting differently about FGM.
As for the survivors, what more can the media do to strengthen their voices, amplify their voices, and make sure that their stories are out there to change minds and perceptions on female genital mutilation?
Give them the opportunity. I know it's not every survivor that wants to be on the spotlight, but then there are warrior survivors, I will call them, those who are not just living with the impact, keeping silent, but then there are survivors who want to come out and talk, share their stories so that their voices could be heard. So we should not just let them out there. Let's get to them no matter how far they are and no matter how difficult it is to reach to them. Let's put more energy and more resources to get to these people, sit with them, chat with them. A problem shared is a problem solved, even though the impact of the FGM will not be eradicated on them. But then by speaking, they will be able to tell their stories, and that can inform some of the activities that we are doing. It is time to bring them on board. I know the stereotype is there, the discrimination is there, but like I said, we have people who are willing to share their stories.
Association of Health Journalists of the Gambia are a key stakeholder to the Ministry of Health and other ministries, line ministries, and even the UN system. What do you think you can do to work with these partners to raise awareness of communities, the entire country on the health implications of female genital mutilation? Because when we went around, people were like, okay, the law is there, even if the Supreme Court upheld that the law is going to be maintained in the Gambia, but there is a lot that we can do beyond the law.
Yes, we have been working with some partners when it comes to FGM. I remember a few times the health journalists benefited from trainings from Gamco Trap, from Sign Light, Girls Education, Paradise Foundation, and the like. We have benefited from a few of capacity enhancement programs that have been going on with us. And since then, not many of our members are reporting on FGM, but I think we need to continue to encourage them. I know there are many other key issues when it comes to health, but then we should be able to prioritize some of the issues and know that FGM is one of those that are very critical and important that we should be talking about. So partnerships should continue, and we will continue to knock on doors of other partners who are working on FGM, but they have not been working with us. I think with that, members will always be on their feet to make sure that they highlight issues of FGM.
Okay, finally, what do you have for your members with regards to reporting on health issues that are of public health concern to the people, including female genital mutilation?
I want to encourage them. I want to encourage them to continue the sensitization. I know sometimes when you keep talking about one issue, maybe your editor or the senior person will say, is this the only issue? Why are you so passionate?
Yeah.
They will think that you are being biased. But like we all know, every health issue is critical, but FGM is very critical. Imagine a future population of young people where childbirth becomes very critical and difficult because of FGM. A future where girls and women are not enjoying their sexual marital affairs, that becomes a key concern for the country. So I will encourage them to keep highlighting issues of FGM.